Hi everyone, I want to talk about the Raekor Barbarian again. I know a lot of people have been having trouble staying alive with this build, and especially at lower Paragon when you are not geared very well, I know this can be a bit of an issue. And there are some innovations I have made on the setup compared to the PTR that I want to highlight that makes it a bit easier to play and to farm with. So to give you a bit of a reference, here's my Paragon 15, 1600 Barbarian runs. So I've been blasting GR107s, GR108s, usually around somewhere like 2 minutes, maybe 2:15 average or something like this. This is kind of the pace you want to go at, and with a fairly optimized character, you can go even up to like 110 speeds, no problem once you approach like 2k Paragons. And so if you have already watched my guide from before the season that I made during the PTR, then you will have seen this setup here, the Speeds Squirts variant running Molten Wildebeest, Squirts Necklace. And here the idea is you just charge around, you have lots of cooldown reduction, you get Messerschmitt's Viva procs on kills, then reset your Call of the Ancients and Wrath of the Berserker, and you're gonna have those two skills up permanently. And the Ancients give you lots of fury from the shoulders. This is exactly the setup that I have been playing on Hardcore, just with the difference that I had a G-Death passive, so I replaced Animosity on Hardcore, and I was completely fine all the time. I rarely ever procced even. And the reason for that is that you actually do gain a lot of toughness when you have a well-rolled Band of Might, and you have resource cost reduction, Crimson combination that gives you damage reduction, and you have 50% damage reduction from Call of the Ancients and a Warcry. In the end, you actually stack up a lot of toughness, and these speedruns go really smooth to the point where your Squirt's Necklace is actually very well protected from enemy attacks, even with just the Molten Wildebeest. Now later when I was playing the build, I tried to figure out a way to not rely on the Squirt's Necklace so much, and that might also make it easier for more casual blasting, and I figured I could run a Hellfire Amulet. So I tried crafting some of those and I got this here, so I got my Animosity passive back. I had a pretty good roll, and then I decided to drop the Molten Wildebeest, which we now don't need anymore, to protect the Squirt's Necklace, and we can go Bane of the Powerful. The main reason why I wanted to do this is because of the 4-piece bonus that gives you extra damage when you are not at full HP, so that I can maybe benefit from this mechanic, which is undoable when you constantly get healed to full from Molten Wildebeest regeneration. So here, in fact, I removed all the healing from my setup. I even replaced my belt that had life per kill, so I had no life per kill, I had no life regen besides the 6k from Crimson. I even removed them from Paragons, so I was running like this here, and I was actually kind of staying at low life, not all the time, but at least sometimes in the run. And with the extra passive and the extra gem, the damage done is roughly similar to like 4 to 5 Squirt's Necklace stacks before we actually lose life to buff us from the 4-piece bonus. So as long as I can stay at like 60-70% HP, I have roughly the same bonus as a fully stacked Squirt's Necklace without having to worry about losing them. And if I have lower life than that, I actually have more damage. So that was the idea. And when I was trying this out in actual speedruns, it did work sometimes, but it is kind of hard to actually lose life, in my opinion, when you go at this really fast pace. So that is like suitable for the Raekor Barb, like 2-minute runs, 2.5 maybe. You simply go so fast that most of the time enemies don't actually really get to hit you, and you don't actually lose a lot of life. But you can see here my life is sometimes dropping a little bit, and then occasionally I'm picking up these health globes that heal me again. So this is something that you can kind of micromanage and try to avoid the health globes when you have enough life, and sometimes you pick them when you feel like you need it. Obviously you can't run a Templar in this case, so I've been running with a Scoundrel, so I don't have this extra life regen. But it did help to just stay at low life, and sometimes you have these really big nukes, very easily one-shotting packs, and you have really nice damage. In the end, I gotta say that I didn't feel much of a difference in terms of the overall efficiency between the Squirt's Necklace setup and this Hellfire setup. So I'd say both of them are pretty much equally viable, but this might be a bit more flavorful for how this setup is played. And also, if you are just starting out and you are kind of squishy, then this might actually benefit you more, trying to lose HP and trying not to keep out the Squirt's Necklace necessarily. Some other tips I can give for survival is mostly make sure you have a really good Band of Might. So the secondary affix, this percent damage reduction, matters a lot. Even if you have something like a 75% roll or so, it is already quite bad, and you want to make sure you get as close as possible to 80%. If you don't have a Band of Might at all, when you're just starting out, your Barbarian or something like this, make it level 1 barb, gamble rings. There's only 2 possible outcomes, so it's a 1000 bloodshot cost on average. Not very much, and you can get started at least. Another option is also to just farm up a decent Ring of Fire Grandeur and equip it, and then put the Band of Might in the cube. But the problem with Ring of Fire Grandeur is it comes with really bad stats, pre-rolls every single time for this build, and you really want to get a good Band of Might instead. Aside from this, make sure you stack some vitality. So in my case, I'm running with like around 5k. You can maybe even put a little bit more, just from Paragons or wherever you can. And you, for example, don't really need so much area damage, especially for farming, so you can replace this with defensive stats if you need to, and you're gonna be better off. So just a short update I wanted to make on the Raekor Barbarian. Nothing has really changed from my original guide. I just added this Hellfire version as another alternative speed version that you can play, and I wanted to explain the thoughts behind it a little bit. Personally, I'm getting ready to push it a little bit higher on my own Barbarian as well, so this was a clear that I've done like a few days into the season. And we are slowly approaching a pretty comfortable Paragon to approach like GR140 or so. And this is going to be my goal with this build. But if you want to learn more about the overall playstyle, about how you deal the most damage, how you play around this low life mechanic the best from the 4-piece burners, then you should definitely go check out the real build guide that I made. That's already it for this video here. Hope you like it. Subscribe for more D3 content, and I'll see you guys next time.